Hello and welcome to this presentation from Pluralsight. My name is Andrew Mallet and I'm here as your instructor to help guide you through the module where we take a look at scheduling tasks in Linux. The objectives that we're looking at in particular here are looking at to schedule tasks to run at a certain date and time, obviously verify the completion of those scheduled jobs. We'll also take a little bit of a look at scripting so we can use scripting to automate maintenance tasks. Now, of course, for this to work for you, we've got to make sure that we put in some great demonstrations. These are going to include then a little bit on the scripting, as we mentioned, so we can create a script for our cron jobs. We'll be looking at scheduling jobs then with cron, but also with anacron and with the @daemon, and we'll get to see why we use these different mechanisms and what they do for you in CentOS 7. So to start our show, we're going to look at using scripts for system maintenance. So you can see I'm logged on as a standard user, the user Tux, to my CentOS 7 system, and we're going to look at creating a very simple script, but looking at really what we do to make scripts work. For a start, let's just take an issue that we might have. We could use the df command, let's say with the -h, so we can see it in human readable, so we can see our free disk space. Now if we wanted to, we could send this information out through to a file, let's call it df.txt. And of course, once we've got the information in the file, then if we wanted to, we could go through and send the message through. Let's send it through with the subject of disk free. And we'll send it through to the Tux user so I don't have to worry about changing accounts to read it. And then we can read in that file then df.txt. And of course at some stage I'm going to have to then go through and remove df.txt. We can see now that I've got mail, so when I go through and read the mail, yes, there's my mail there. If we go through and take a look at it, we can see then the content. If we quit out, to build this into a script, what we could do is something like this. Go through and create a script, so we'll call it, say, df.sh. Generally, when we're creating shell scripts, it's going to have the .sh extension. If nothing else, it actually will help us identify the type of the file, but also is likely to give you color coding within your editor. The first line is going to be the path through to the interpreter. So I'm going to then go through and put in the insert and then hash exclamation mark. And then usr/bin/bash. We can then go through and specify a variable to save us using the file name so many times. So we can go file equals, let's say put it into the temp directory, and df.text. We can then go through and run our df command -h and send then the output through to $file. When we're reading a variable, we put the dollar in front of it. With that set, we can then go through and mail -s. And if we wanted to, we could do something like this, df for our disk free, and then also build in the date if we wanted to. So we could go through and run then the output of the command date plus %f just to go through and format it. That's going to give me year, month and day. Close off our quote and then we can read in from the file $file. And of course when we're watching it, it's very easy to see that the command has worked or failed, but when we're running a script maybe that's not possible. So we can then go through and do something like this. We say if this command succeeds, then we can go through and rm our $file. So remove the file, but only if we succeed in sending the email. Now with that done, let's jump out, escape, and X to save and exit. And we need to make this executable. So chmod plus x and then df.sh. Now it's not within my path, so it's in my current directory, so I'm just going to go and run it with //. If we're running it, say, through a cron job, we would put the full path through to it in any case. So we can then go through and run df.sh. And you can see here that we've got a little bit of an error, so it doesn't really matter. We can go back and run the vi command here, and we can see that we didn't include the user to send it to. So that doesn't really matter, and it's worth leaving in the video just to see, well, you are going to get it wrong occasionally. So we're going to send it through to our tux user and then jump out. Let's clear this out, so Control and L. Try running this again. So now that's run through for us okay. What we should be able to see now, if I go in and run mail, then I've got the mail with the date that we've set. And if I go through and read that, so read the second mail, then of course we've got the output, and then I can go through and quit out of this. And of course the file should have been deleted, so if I go through and look in the temp directory, we can see, well, look, there's nothing there, the file has been deleted. So just looking at some of the very simple mechanisms of creating a script. Let's go through and look at our script again now that it's working. So the first line, the shebang, that specifies the interpreter. On the second line, we're then going through and setting the variable. And of course, when we're setting variables, don't have any extra spaces around the variable, the equal, and the value. When we're looking at then the third line, that's where we're running our disk free and redirecting our output through to our file. And then you can see on the final line, this is where we email the tux user and we email the file as the message. If that command succeeds, the $, we then remove the file. But if that command doesn't succeed, we leave the file in place. Now we need to look at how we could set this up, if necessary, as a cron job.